likely. A bit of a curious move so far. And what is this? Stormtroopers have hit the field. Veteran C2 for them means elite armor. So they'll certainly be much more of a threat. Probably 9th SS Panzergrenadiers moving in to support the Kampfgruppe and its many Volksgrenadiers. We'll probably be seeing a Panzerschreck for them to do most of the anti-tank duties, I suspect. As many Wehrmacht players are known to forgo Tier 2 and Tier 3 in some cases and go blitzkrieg and then use Stormtroopers with Panzerschrecks for anti-tank duties. Not something I do myself. I prefer a slightly more steady and careful approach, which can also react a bit more well to different things that may happen. But we see the Volksgrenadiers have made a move for the north, securing it quite nicely without much opposition. The Americans holding now the south while trading away the north, and we see a large force moving in. Wait a minute. He's got 6 Volksgrenadier teams. Good lord. Madness. Certainly have not expected that, and of course the Stormtroopers are skulking about, hoping to pounce upon the M8 as soon as it tries to move in. But so far no luck. Volksgrenadiers moving into this building, taking up a solid defensive position, opening fire on the American infantry, being joined in by their comrades as well. Going to make the American defense of this place very harder, although for some reason these Volksgrenadiers are pulling out, which means that perhaps these riflemen will seize the building or not, but are quickly suppressed by the MG42 in a rear position. Stormtroopers still not revealed. Dual Panzerschrecks for them, meaning they're definitely there only for anti-tank duties. They won't be too effective against infantry at all. And are now on a complete retreat as Rangers are joining the fight, and the MG42 is taking too much fire from the Americans. And we are of course seeing more and more Volksgrenadiers. 7 Volksgrenadiers. Goodness gracious, that's... I'm not entirely sure how to respond to this anymore. In fact, certainly something unique. Volksgrenadiers being engaged, and of course forced to retreat. All munitions going towards those Stormtroopers' Panzerschrecks. And now the Americans are facing a great deal of Volksgrenadiers. Perhaps they might go for this BAR. Yes, indeed, increasing their firepower a bit. Rangers charging right into the Volksgrenadiers, dropping a grenade. Not killing anything though. Cheezburglar's 4th Infantry Division continuing the fight alongside the 6th Ranger Battalion. Rangers lead the way. Now having Thompson submachine guns opening fire at close range, certainly going to cut down a lot of Volksgrenadiers. Another BAR looks like it has been dropped. And we see a lot of wounded and dead right here in the middle of everything. Plenty of Volksgrenadiers and Rangers and Riflemen. And it looks like a complete retreat from Mr. Cheezburglar as his forces are pulling back, but looks like a small dash from the north, but will quickly be turned back. Volksgrenadiers hitting another mine here again. Well placed, Mr. Cheezburglar. Now Stormtroopers firing away at these riflemen. Panzerschrecks blasting away, perhaps killing 1 or 2. Yes, indeed, looks like they managed 1 kill, but now the riflemen are forced to retreat. Americans going for this strategic cut-off point, denying the fuel point to Mr. Garzia and his Kampfgruppe. And of course the ever-increasing hordes of Volksgrenadiers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 Volksgrenadiers, that's 40 Volksgrenadiers, good lord. I'm absolutely curious as to why he's doing this. Certainly not something you see very often, if at all. I mean, it's something else quite entirely. Engineers charging ahead. Volksgrenadiers reporting of the flamethrower attack, and we see the M8 holding back a bit, having taken a bit of damage, but still on in the fight. 37mm gun firing away at the Stormtrooper, who was briefly revealed. Now the Volksgrenadiers and Riflemen and Rangers are meeting for a quite heavy fight in the center. The American forces quite heavily outnumbered. Rangers charging right into it with their submachine guns, cutting down numerous Volksgrenadiers, perhaps further riflemen and engineers with flamethrowers trying to close the hole. MG42 team cleared out. Rangers grabbing the MG42 behind all of these Volksgrenadiers. Absolutely nasty. Will it open fire? Yes, it does. And the Volksgrenadiers are completely on the retreat, losing numerous men in the retreat itself. And the Rangers now hold the MG42, meaning that the support for the Volksgrenadiers is no more. Quite spectacular and quite nicely done by Mr. Cheezburglar. And will certainly give him the advantage against the hordes of Volksgrenadiers. For the moment, question is, will he get something to replace it? Yes, indeed, going right for another MG42, perhaps getting something else as well, perhaps a Stu 42 or perhaps the Tiger later on, I can't say, but this is certainly a very interesting force, heavy on the Volksgrenadiers and light on the support of any kind. And looks like we see a major push going for the northeastern route. Apparently having decided perhaps not the south is not the best place. And we see riflemen from the 4th Infantry Division laying down mines. The Volksgrenadiers slowly replenishing, and we see veterancy 3 going up, meaning all of these Volksgrenadiers will be much tougher, gaining a bit of health. Same for the stormtroopers. And we see others skulking about right in the center. Might hit a mine. Still no minesweepers, certainly not a good idea. And there we go, no losses, but certainly a lot of wounded men, but still in the fight for now. And retreating, narrowly missing the mine. We see a push from the Volksgrenadiers right to the center. Still no minesweepers, and the stormtroopers hit the mine, losing one stormtrooper in the process. MG42 forcing them completely out. Looks to be rather interesting right here in the middle. Volksgrenadiers and riflemen duking it out. Volksgrenadiers completely retreating despite having not suffered much. Perhaps going for this building to set up on an overfire position on here, or not, apparently. Flamethrower engineers moving in, taking a few losses to the Volksgrenadiers, who are being fired on from all positions. And MG42 setting up, firing away, not looking good for these German troops. Will have to retreat in full. And we see an attack from the north once more, catching the MG42 off guard. Although it does have the slight advantage of Rangers manning it, meaning that it will have elite armor. So there you go. Volksgrenadiers charging ahead with a few BARs. Grenades going off, killing 2 Volksgrenadiers. Further Volksgrenadiers being slaughtered as night lambs. Right in the middle of the street. Heavy losses, in fact. Not good at all, not good at all. No attempts at surrounding, no attempt at using cover or these buildings at all. Not good, not good. Volksgrenadiers firing away the best they know. Veterancy 3 certainly giving them some advantages, but certainly not for the long run against automatic weapons out in the open. Flamethrowers roasting away. Plenty of Volksgrenadiers catching fire. It's absolutely horrific. A small barbecue and bonfire right in the middle of everything. Engineers charging ahead. 7 kills so far. 7 Volksgrenadiers scorched in the name of Uncle Sam. And we see a medic station finally going up for Cheezburglar. Was in fact wondering this minute if perhaps he shouldn't get one up to decrease the attrition rate. Although then again, Mr. Garzia could certainly use the same for his own troops, because I don't think he can maintain this constant rate of attrition even with Volksgrenadiers. And we see assault being used, meaning large showers of grenades landing amongst the American troops, perhaps stunning some and damaging them. Certainly quite nasty. And we see a pineapple grenade going off, killing 1 Volksgrenadiers, and the Rangers are completely retreating. Now a large American force is quickly moving in to try and contain the German push. Stormtroopers caught with only Panzerschrecks and 2 men on low health, pulling back, still not using the buildings. We see another assault with grenades going on. Plenty of grenades being lobbed right into the American lines. stunning some of the riflemen, forcing them down. MG42 setting up, suppressing some of the Volksgrenadiers. Flamethrowers flaming away. A lot of fire, quite heavy infantry fighting, in fact. Quite rare you see something like this. No real vehicles except that one M8 which was lost somewhere. I must have missed it, I'm afraid. Otherwise it's just infantry combat. Quite interesting. And we see another assault going off, perhaps towards the flamethrowers in the house. Yes, indeed. And one should note that it's perhaps not the best use of assault there, since if he basically moves out of the building, the entire ability is cancelled, meaning you've just wasted 50 munitions. So keep that in mind, good sirs and good ladies. The Volksgrenadiers carry on relentlessly despite heavy losses, despite many Volksgrenadiers being lost to grenades, machine gun fire and BAR fire. Absolutely horrific and absolutely cold-hearted by Garzia and his Kampfgruppe, but they still carry on relentlessly and remorselessly. Perhaps he would have made a better Soviet commander, though. I can't help but feel with all of these human waves attacks. Riflemen pulling back to slightly more defensible positions as the Volksgrenadiers once more charge forward in one huge grey wave with a bit of camouflage in it, as well as these 9th SS Panzergrenadiers are still hanging around.
The Yankees are grabbing our territory. We're back in the fight.
And we see once more Mr. Cheezburglar seizing the central point, and let's return to him for the moment. Howitzer shoots available as well, but I don't think he'll be using them for the most part. Plenty of riflemen surging forward. Looks like the medic station was knocked out, perhaps by the stormtroopers who snuck in. I'd say. I certainly seem to be missing a lot, in fact. Well, there we go. Further fighting in the center. Grenade going off, damaging a few Volksgrenadiers. BARs charging forwards, not really being halted, although the machine gun bunker right here is suppressing the riflemen, forcing them to retreat, as the German troops are having a field day with all of these suppressed Americans. But looks like they are setting up a rather heavy defensive position to counter all of the German attempts. And further Volksgrenadiers are moving to the east, going for once more the central island. Perhaps not could set up some barbed wire to make it a bit more defensible alongside some sandbags, but apparently that is not in the cards. But no attempts from Mr. Cheezburglar to seize this point with his 4th Infantry Division troops, instead letting it remain in the hands of the Kampfgruppe. And looks like this will remain the hotspot of the fight, surging back and forth as the Volksgrenadiers try to push away the riflemen and rangers. Still no